Welcome back to episode 2 of the rebirth of the Gilmour Racing F306. We're a couple of days in now. We're starting to get some stuff back from the paint shop. We've got the tubs painted, starting to go back together. Front suspension's all redone and it's going back together. Suspension arms have been repainted. All the stone damage on the front of it's been repaired. Had the bell cranks off, cleaned up, re-greased. All the front end's been apart and it's going back together. We're almost there. To give you an idea of the timeline, we're about 4 days in since the last video, so a whole lot of work's happened really quickly. And like I said, we're on a fairly tight schedule. A lot of the parts are coming back from the paint shop and looking really good. The normal painter we would have preferred to have got this painted with was unable to work with our timeline, so we've had to paint this whole thing in the house ourselves. So a lot of work, a lot of dedication. Donna, Lee and the twins have put in a massive effort to make this happen. Tub's looking really good, like I said. Front end's all together, looking sensational. To give you an idea of the amount of work that goes into a project like this little bit is the dress for the front suspension arms. They get heavily smashed by stones, heavily damaged. So we've had to get these sanded all the way back to bare composite, the stone chips repaired and then repainted. So, you know, like a lot of things in life, the little things make the big difference, and we've really focused on the little things. The rollover hoop, this is actually a steel structure, and it's also the toe point of the car and also how we lift the car up to get it on the stands. Front edge of this gets smashed by stones and rocks. The front tyres pick a lot of stuff up and just throw it back. And this is one of the bits that cops it the most. So once again, repair all the stone damage, somebody's lifted it up with a chain at some stage, so that's all been repaired, and all this stuff is looking really good. Front nose box, we've got it back, and I've been asked a couple of times now why we go to the effort of only painting the bit you see. So we don't paint any of the stuff you don't see. We don't bother painting it, and it's quite simple really. It's a weight thing. If I can save 1 or 2 kilos of paint on this entire project, we're ahead. And if we get to the end of the year and we haven't exploited every gap we could to get the most out of the car, well, I wouldn't be able to sleep. And if we can save 3 or 4 kilos on an entire build like this, that's a really big deal. We will spend thousands of dollars to get rid of 4 kilos anywhere else in the car. So if we can do it somewhere as simple as not painting where we don't need to paint, well, we're all for it. But other than that, a lot of the parts are coming back. The wheels have just rolled in now. They've been resprayed. All the airbox has been serviced. Brook Motorsports put a new fuel pump in, new injectors in. So the car's really going back together. And I'm hoping within the next 1 or 2 days, this will be complete again, and we can get it off to the sticky guy to get the original livery put back on the car and really make it look the way it should. So I'll get into it, we'll keep cracking, stand by for updates. I've already had the upright off and we actually put wheel bearings in the front of this. They get a lot of contamination from the inside. We run a full brake duct on the inside of the wheel, which not only cleans up the aerodynamics for the air going across the inside of the tyre, but also allows us to control the brake temperature a whole lot better, but also what radiates into the rim. Now this is very helpful in a lot of different conditions, and I'll go into that in another video. But what it does do is force the brake dust inside into the wheel bearing on the inside. And then generally, because you can't get to them without pulling the whole car apart and service them, so they do get packed full of brake dust and very hard to clean out. And this will deteriorate the inner seal on the wheel bearing and allow contamination into the wheel bearing itself. These are a one-piece wheel bearing. We pull them apart, clean them out, and we use our KCK Zero Melt grease in them. They seem to last forever, very few problems, but it certainly doesn't resolve the brake dust issue. So we've cleaned all this up, new wheel bearings, and it's all looking good. So I'll keep putting the car back together. The car is really coming together now. Side pods are on, mirrors on, windscreens on. A lot of the little details are starting to go back together. But probably the most iconic part of this car for me is those chimneys on the side pods. Every photo or print I see of the car, my eyes drawn to the chimneys. They look amazing and really aggressive. They help with airflow through the radiators and then directed away from the rear wing. So they do serve a function, but most importantly, they look really cool. But we're just about there, finishing touches now. Head restraints in, all inside the car's cleaned up, roll hoops on, a few little bits and pieces, and we're almost there. Well, we've finally made it. This car's ready to go. We've done everything we've needed to do. It's race prepped, ready to go. Bodywork's done. Everything's come up really, really well, and I'm really happy with it. And I can't wait to see it in the sun to see how it really looks. Everybody here's put in 110%. We've got it done. And most importantly, we're still on track for Chris Gilmour to make his big debut, his big comeback. But naturally, there's been a problem. There's been a setback. We've just received the call half an hour ago. The race meeting we've been working towards is cancelled. We've put in so much time and so much effort to get this thing back together and back in one piece. And here we are, nowhere to race.